So we'll go over these and then you'll work on your review for the rest of the period. It'll be due tomorrow. All right. There are, of course, two ways to do the first question. You could do t over 2 plus t over 3 equals 1. Or you could do 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 equals 1 over t. You can either do it by rate or you can do it by proportion filled. Your choice. But either way is going to get you the same answer. So, of course, that is 5/6 equals 1t. 5t equals 6. T equals 6/5 of a minute. Right? So that's 1.2 minutes. Or, if you want to get really technical, 1 minute and 12 seconds. If you really want the best possible answer you could get. If you were going to do it the blue way, then that is 3t plus 2t equals 6. 5t equals 6. T equals 6/5, and you get the same answer. Any questions? I hope not. Those are the pretty comfortable ones, yeah? All right, two kayakers paddle downstream, then they paddle upstream. So there are how many sections to their journey? 2. There's the downstream, and there's the upstream. And in each of those sections, they are going to pass through a certain amount of distance at a speed and with time. What is the distance they traveled downstream? 18. What is the distance they traveled upstream? 8. The current is 3 kilometers an hour. So they're paddling. Paddle, 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 paddle. How fast am I paddling? How fast am I paddling? You don't know. Some speed. Now, the current is pushing me towards you people. Is it helping me or hurting me? Helping. So is my speed going to increase or decrease? Increase. So how do I use math to show increase? Add 3. Now I'm turning around and coming home. What do? I lose 3. Time is always distance divided by speed. 18 over x plus 3. 8 over x minus 3. Add, subtract, multiply, divide. What symbol goes there? No. Read the question. The very first sentence gives you the answer. What does the very first sentence of the question say? Upstream, time, what? 2 kayakers paddle downstream with the current in the same time as it takes to go upstream. So their time downstream equals their time upstream. Is that fraction equals fraction? Have we done enough math to know that all you need to do to solve that is cross multiply? Yes. 8x plus 24 equals 18x minus 54, and then you solve. So that is 10x equals 78. So x equals 7.8. Because when you bring that over, it becomes addition. Okay, the other class, most of them left this acid question blank. So I feel I obviously have done a poor job. It's a mixed question, right? Right? It's just like the hot and cold water, yeah? Okay, so maybe a visual aid is in order. In my cup here, I pour in some amount of acid. Okay? Not the naughty kind of 60s hallucinogenic acid, because that's different. Yeah. If anything, as I was saying, right now my cup has 30 milliliters of, pick your acid, hydrochloric acid in it. Everybody agree? That is the only thing in the cup, yes? So it is how much acid? 100%, yes? So if there are 30 milliliters of acid in the cup, and there are 30 milliliters of acid, everyone agrees? And it's 100% acid, so that means it's 30 milliliters out of 30 milliliters. It's all acid, right? It's 100%, agreed? Okay. 100% pure acid needs to be diluted. How much acid do I have? Read the question. 100% pure acid must be diluted. Do you know how much acid I have? No. So what do I give it? X. X over what? To be 100%, it had to be 30 over 30. So what's the X? X over X. That's 100%, right? Everyone agree? Everybody with me? Okay. Now I'm going to add some water. Right? How much water am I going to add?
800 milliliters.
I'm going to add 800 milliliters of water, yes? So in this cup right now is 30 milliliters of acid, yes? When I pour in 800 milliliters of water, how much liquid will be in here? 830. How much of it will be acid? Not 30%. 30 milliliters, right? I haven't changed the amount of acid. I've just added water. Yes? So where does the 800 go? Numerator or denominator? Numerator. Okay, I'm going to change this. Forget the acid. I give you guys a test. You get 6 out of 10. Right? What is the percentage of questions you got right? 60%, right? Okay. Of the questions you got right, you got 6 out of those 6 right, correct? So, of the questions you got right, you got 6 out of 6, yes? But were there some more questions? Where are they added? The denominator, the 4 you got wrong. So where am I adding the water? Is it part of the acid, which is X amount of acid over X amount of acid? No, it is part of the denominator. Because now I still have my original 30 milliliters of acid, but I've added 800 milliliters here. Why am I leaving it as X? Because I didn't tell you how much acid was in here. Does everybody understand? Everybody understands? Okay. Now, I want this mixture to equal what? 30%. What's 30%? 30 over 100. Is that fraction equals fraction? So what do I do? Cross, multiply, and solve it. Does everybody understand? And there's tons of questions like this, and this actually is a real world question, right? If you're working in a factory or something and you're making something that is a mixture of things, you got to be able to do this type of math. Even nowadays where they say, oh no, the computer will do it all. You guys have seen how well computers work all the time, yes? The people in those factories still know what they're doing, or whatever you're mixing, right? A nurse has to do this type of, well, not so much a nurse. A pharmacist has to do this type of stuff all the time. This where you say, I'm not going to be a pharmacist.
I was going to say it was also if I wanted to do drugs.
Oh.
But I decided not to.
Well, why not?
Because drugs who say it. But you can make a lot of Bangkok food with them.
So, of course, it's 100x equals 30x plus 24,000. And then you do the math. And it ends up being like 390 or something. I don't know. Oh, 342, that little? Okay. All right. And now let us look at the last one. What is my journey divided into? Two parts. What are they? Road and grass. How far am I running on the road? 5 km. How far on the grass? 2 km. What's my speed?
Speed on the road is twice as fast as your speed on the grass.
So where should I put my variable?
Make grass be x. And
Grass is x and road is 2x. What's time?
Sum plus sum equals 190.
Right. 5 over 2x plus 2 over x equals 190. Yeah? So go. What's my common denominator? 2x. What does this guy need? Nothing. 5 plus what does this guy need? 2. So that's 4 equals what does this guy need? Which is 380x, yes? So 9 equals 380x. What does x equal? Nine divided by 380? Well, that wouldn't make much sense. That would mean they were running at 42 kilometers a minute. 42 kilometers a minute. That would mean I was halfway to hope by the time I finished this sentence.
All right, that's 0.02.
0.02, which seems too slow, doesn't it? Until you realize it's 0.02 kilometers per minute. Right? Yeah. Which is not an awful speed. What would I have to multiply minute by to get it to a speed that we're used to using? 60, right? So what would I multiply 0.02 by to get? 1.4 kilometers per hour. It doesn't say she's a fast runner. All right, now what else could you do? You could have changed this to minutes. Or to hours. How? Divide by 60. And then you could have done the whole thing with 3.17. And gotten the same answer. You would have gotten the 1.4 then. Right? Everybody cool? All right. So, today you will do the review. Please read it carefully. A lot of the kids in the other class were coming up to me like, "Oh, dear hair." And then I'd say, "Did you read the instructions?" They said, "Yeah." Oh. No. I'm not saying don't come and ask me, but it tells you what to do. You will do this today. We will mark it tomorrow, and we will do as I do every unit, the test reminders page. Now listen to me carefully. There are only 2 remaining full block days between now and Christmas. I am not counting the last Friday because half of you will take that Friday off, even if I make it a test. Even if I say, if you pass this test on this Friday, I will give you an A for the year.
Can we just do that?
Half of you will still take that day off. I could say, if you wrote your name on the test, I would give you an A for the year. And half of you would still take that day off.
Come on Saturday.
So,
I will come here on Saturday.
there are only 2 remaining days that are full blocks. Now listen to me. You need to write a test on rational expressions. That's going to use one of those 2 days. And then I want to go over it. Then you have a cumulative on the last 3 units. Now here's the problem. If I write that test on Monday on rational expressions, which is the logical day to write it, I'm not committing to it because I'm not telling you anymore, then we would go over it Tuesday. And when would you write your cumulative? Wednesday's a short day, Thursday's a short day, and Friday you're all bleh.
What are we doing Wednesday?
Hockey. So, what the other class suggested, and I have very little problem agreeing to, is Wednesday, short day, we would do quadratics and inequalities cumulative. And Thursday, short day, you do the rational expressions part of your cumulative. Is that okay? I'll split the cumulative over 2 days, Yulia. Is that okay? All right. That's what we will do. And then Friday, which is a long day, we will go over the cumulative. That will take, 20 minutes by the time we've gone over it. And then we'll have nothing to do. What I will probably do that Friday is no, because you guys are slackers. What I will probably do that Friday, I knew it was a mistake to start that. I should have waited to see if you would all be slackers before I started doing that. What I will be doing in the remaining short days is reminding you of how to do grade 10 trigonometry. Because to do grade 11 trigonometry, your grade 10 trigonometry has to be good enough that you can tell me what the equation is to do that without writing it down by the time I finish speaking this sentence. What is it? Right, so no one.
No, wait. So it's 43 times sine 17?
No. So we'll be spending some time with Trig, because he was super good at it last year. And he came up with the totally wrong answer. So we're going to spend some time with that, because to do grade 11 trig, you have to have SOHCAHTOA trig inside, outside, upside down, backwards, underwater, in your sleep.
It was like 17.
You have to look at a question and automatically know how to do it. Or grade 11 trig is going to take you out back behind the woodshed and show you what it's like. Okay?
17 sine 43.
Yes.
I had it backwards.
Yes. All right? But of course, you know that in grade 11, you have all 4 quadrants. So you now have negative numbers. And we all know how well you guys handle negative numbers, don't we? Right. So we will be spending a goodly amount of the next few days making sure we know how to do trig before we go ahead. Everybody good? I have an hour left to finish 2 pages of work. I'd better be, when I do my homework check tomorrow, I'd better see 100% tickety ticks. Right? Go.